I know. Listen, the thing about it is, I did not forget the book. It's been in my car all week. But all week at night, there's been, I'll say, I call a client. Actually started off with a couple of them and ended off with just one of the couple. And how can I say this without the I just couldn't read not one night this week. That's all I could say. I had to keep things confidential, and you mustn't go live or on social media and talk in depth about what goes on at work. Just not a good idea. So suffice it to say that my attention had to be diverted towards a particular individual. And I'll say this also. Oh, she's a pain in the fucking ass. All right, enough of that. So you're looking at this title, right? The Menendez brothers versus Debarge. What, man? Who the fuck is the Menendez brothers? Okay, so picture this. It's 1989, August 20th. Hollywood, no, Beverly Hills, California. You got parents and two sons. Sons were like maybe 18 and 21. Uh, Kitty Menendez is the mother, and Jose Menendez is the father. Jose Menendez actually, I believe he grew up in Queens and he graduated from Queens College and ended up in Hollywood. And he was like one of the founders of that group Menudo. Remember? Menudo! Menudo! They were like the Puerto Rican Beatles in the 80s. But anyway, if you don't know the story, you could just Google the Menendez brothers. So long story short, um, they were uber rich, millionaires many times over. And August 20th, 1989, I believe, was the date. Uh, the sons, ages 18 21 again, uh, they came into the house. Jose and Kitty was sitting on the couch watching a movie. They blasted their father in the back of his head with a shotgun. They both had shotguns. And they only shot their father one time in the back of the head. And then they shot the mother 9 times. They initially shot her straight smack dead in the face and filled her body full of lead. And then they went and they called 911 in tears. Oh my God, we just came. My mother came for the movies. Our parents are dead. They're dead. And now it's a big old thing because it's like a uber rich uh, Beverly Hills couple. And, their sons were like trying to be a tennis great, one of them. And the other one was doing this, and they had the best of life. And surely, was this a mob hit? Was the father involved in something? These are types of angles the detectives were exploring. So Lyle and Eric, those are the names of the sons. Yeah, they go to the funeral, all of that. But then they inherit these millions of dollars, and Lyle opens up a restaurant. He buys a Porsche. They go on shopping sprees. Eric got himself into like some tennis whatever, because he's trying to be a tennis star, and this, that, and the other. And, you know, they went on with their lives for a few months without a care in the world. And, you know, the detectives became suspicious. Like, you know, damn, your parents were blasted to smithereens and you going on shopping sprees and living it up, huh? So, anyway, Eric, which is the younger one, he just couldn't take it anymore. So, he's been seeing a therapist and he confided to his therapist what he and his brother had done. The guilt was he just couldn't live with himself. The therapist recorded the confession. Now, you know, when you have a therapist, shit is confidential, except it can no longer remain confidential if you are trying to harm yourself or somebody else, or you've committed a murder. They got to tell somebody, you know, that's just the way it goes. Anything else, you could tell a therapist that you fucked 20 men in the span of 30 minutes. You could tell them whatever. But when it comes to self-harm or murder or whatever, uh-uh. That they're not bound by confidentiality for those matters. So that's how they got caught. And they had two trials. The first trial was a hung jury, and the second trial, they were convicted. Now, their defense was they murdered their parents because their father had been screwing them ever since they were little boys. And I gotta tell you, they've been in prison for 34 years. And for 34 years, I believed that they were just some spoiled rich kids. They didn't want to wait till their parents died to gain their inheritance. So they murdered them so they can get their father's money, their mother's money. You know, this is what I believed, and many others, for over 3 decades. Well, this on Peacock, there's a new documentary. And again, throughout the trial, they talked about especially Lyle talked about the sexual abuse that he went through with his father, Eric as well, on the stand. And there's always been family members who believed the brothers, like aunts and cousins and things like that. But no, they were convicted in the second trial. And so this documentary on Peacock explores thoroughly, and they might get another trial and be released. Um, and I watched the documentary, and it's exploring the sexual abuse. And, you know, somebody brought up if these were the Menendez sisters, they probably wouldn't have done any jail time. And the thing that has changed my mind, where I now believe that their father was sexually abusing them, is just this one aspect of the case that flew over my head. They shot their father in the back of the head one time. The father was only shot one time, but they shot the mother in her face first and then shot her eight more times. Think about it. Sounds like they were super angry at their mother, doesn't it? Well, it also came out, hello, in the trial that the mother knew that the father was sexually abusing them. Now, I'm not going to tell you any more about the Peacock documentary because I don't want to spoil it for you. But the mother knew. And have you made the similarities, the comparison of similarities between the Menendez brothers and Debarge? There's some differences too. You got Debarge, who were poor kids. You got the Menendez brothers, who were rich kids. Both of them in the family were being sexually abused by the father. Both mothers in each family knew about the sexual abuse. The rich kids was like, fuck it, you niggas need to die so we can get your money and live our lives without you. The poor kids, aka the Debarges, well, there was no money to kill their father and mother over. Had they been rich, uber rich like the Menendez, do you think they might have decided to take their parents out? Just a question. The poor kids, when their father got jumped by their mother's brothers, after how this man had them living in fear in all of their little lives, to say the least, of the things that he has done to them, they went to protect their father. They started fighting the uncle, remember? Hmm. If Kitty's brothers came and beat the shit out of Jose, I don't think the Menendez boys would have protected him like the Debarges. Very interesting. When I really sat down and thought about both families, how they were on the opposite sides of the spectrum, uber rich and uber poor. Hmm. As we could see so far in Bunny's book, so far, at least at last, she had still has love for her mother, you know? She depended on her mother somewhat when she was pregnant, as far as, help and support, just being pregnant, having the first baby. There was still some love there. Whereas the Menendez brothers, they didn't give a fuck. So again, I have changed my mind about the Menendez brothers. I now believe that they were sexually abused by the father. I always thought that they were lying. I always thought they had to come up with a defense to save their asses. I thought they were disgusting for telling that filthy lie to their father on their parents, period. But after reading the kept ones as much as we have read, uh-uh. And it makes sense that they would blast the mother 9 times, because it was like, bitch, you knew what he was doing to us and you let it happen. You are our mother. You're supposed to be protecting us. And you did nothing. And if any one of the Debarge's kids would have blasted their parents away and blasted Daddy Debarge one time and Ederline 9 times, wouldn't we all be like, that's not right, but we understand? But the poor kids didn't do that now, did they? The rich kids? Shit. Just something to think about, something I've been thinking about for the past couple of days. Um, I wasn't able to watch all of the documentary. I kept dozing off on it, not because it was boring. It's not boring at all. It's just that I was tired. And yeah, so that's what happened. But I was able to get through the first episode. Now, what new evidence do they have 34 years later, the Menendez? Well, they come to find out that one of the Menudo boys, who's a grown ass man now, he's coming out and talking about how their father used to screw him. And this is going to get them a new trial. So on Peacock, the Menendez brothers, the Menendez slash Menudo, something title. I know Menudo's in the title along with the Menendez brothers. And yeah. But yeah, they blasted their mother 9 times. Now, if they blasted their father 9 times, we would get that, wouldn't it? Wouldn't we? But I also get it that they blasted mama 9 times and their sexual abuser once. They were really angry at their mother, weren't they? Hello, Church of the Diet Melanin. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you all for listening to my little 18 minutes of a video. But yeah, I gotta go to bed because I got things to do tomorrow. But that's something to think about. Leave your ideas in the comments section. Um, have you heard about the Menendez brothers? If not, I suggest you Google it, and there's been plenty of documentaries about them in the case. What do you think? Did you always believe they just killed their parents out of greed? Did you always believe they were molested by the father? Did you believe their story? And if you don't have Peacock, download it. You can either pay $4.99 a month or $9.99 a month. Yeah, spend the $10 and watch the documentary. And if you don't like the Peacock app, quit paying for it after 30 days, whatever. But yeah, leave your opinion and your comments down below in this video. I'm interested in hearing your thoughts and your opinion concerning the differences and the similarities between the Menendez brothers and Debarge. Once again, thank you for tuning in. Peace. I'm out.